one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our block, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Cashing in, say, the way Liv did, well, that's like winning the lottery, isn't it? And I don't need to win the lottery because I work my ass off every week for a paycheck.
Welcome to Kicking It with Saint. Listen, this video probably gonna be up Sunday morning. If you got the time to watch it before the games, I truly do appreciate it. It would have been up quicker, but I gotta tell you, I ended up getting backed up today. A lot of different things I ended up having to do. And then when I sat down and to get ready to record, I realized WWE NXT got a pay-per-view coming on tonight. And I specifically wanted to see this Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch match. And I'm almost certain I just watched the best match of the year. Like, my goodness, bro. That was bro, that might have been the greatest. What was this? That might have been the greatest Extreme Rules match I done seen in the last 5 years. That was unbelievable. And you cannot understand how happy I am. I'm going to make a video for this. That Becky Lynch was in this match. Bro. If you don't watch wrestling, I know you're not going to probably be familiar with the 4 horsewomen of wrestling. But they are the goats of women's wrestling. Nobody was there to bring them up in wrestling, to guide them along. They just had to figure out how to become great themselves. To see them giving back to the next generation like this, it's just so dope, bro. It's so dope. when Becky Lynch was coming up, I don't remember who was going down to NXT to help her, Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha become great. So that's all I'm saying. But with that being said, we're not going to take too long to start off the show. We got the week 4 picks and predictions. Now, Henry, I'm going to tell you off rip. Probably not going to go too big into details on why he made some of his picks, because it's going to be a shorter show since I took so long to get it out. I want to make it as short as possible so people don't feel like they're watching something hella long before the game. But the show after will be long. The breakdown will be long. Oh, you know what? We'll see. We'll see. But with that being said, the 1 o'clock games. Washington is in Philly taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Henry thinks that this will be an upset. He is taking Washington to win this game. I am not. I do not have faith in Washington's defense. They are a week-to-week thing to me. And while people keep talking about how Jalen Hurts haven't looked great, I mean, he might throw another interception in this game. But they are winning. And they can win with the run game. They can win with the pass game. I'm not the biggest fan of the secondary for the Eagles, but I don't think that Sam Howell, he haven't proven to me that he is anything special. And as much as I like Terry McLaurin, I still think the Washington offense, and I like Eric Bieniemy as that coordinator. I think they have moments where they move the ball very good. But you got to look at the competition they was playing in some of those early games and look at what happened last week when they played a real team. And that's really what's making me have no faith in Washington. So I'm taking Washington. I'm taking Philly. Henry is taking Washington. Denver, Chicago. Henry has finally given up on his squad. Obviously, you know I'm not taking Chicago. That's just not going to happen. I'm willing to be wrong by not taking Chicago. But Chicago has just shown me nothing. Denver's defense is god-awful. I can almost guarantee you that Chicago will have them looking as if they are a competent defense. The only way Chicago, in my opinion, go crazy in this game, as far as like getting to at least 30-something points, maybe 24 plus, and I'm not a fan of doing what I'm finna say, but you probably just got to let Justin Fields run around and pick up a meaningless win on the season. To be honest, if I'm Chicago, I'm probably trying to lose to get Caleb Williams. But, you know, it is what it is. Their defense is bad, but the Denver defense looked far worse. They did just allow 70 points. But Denver's offense don't look terrible to me. And if Denver's defense come into this game looking terrible, at the end of the day, as bad as their defense looked, what I understand is Chicago's offense is nowhere near as good as that Miami offense. Like Chicago, as bad as they are, should still put up 30 points in this game. That's how bad Denver's defense is. Chicago will probably not put up 30 points in this game. Unless they just have one of them games where it's like, fuck the pass game. We don't care about developing Justin Fields. Just let him go out there and do whatever he feel like doing. And if that is running around, now they still could end up losing this game if Russell Wilson and the offense come in. And Russell Wilson and this offense really haven't been terrible, to be honest with you. I don't know what an offense can do when the opposing offense put it, like Shannon Sharp kept saying, the Broncos can go out there and put up 70 points also. No, they cannot. I don't know what team you looking at, my boy. I don't know what roster you think Denver going out there with on a weekly basis, but that just ain't the case. The interesting thing to me is that they have not traded Jerry Jeudy high. Like, I believe that his stock only continues to go down the longer you hold on to him. He clearly not making a big enough difference for a team that's 0-3 now, been losing since he got there. I don't understand not trading Jerry Jeudy. And you're going to hear me talk about another team that should be trading off players in a few. But I'm taking Denver in this game, even though I got no faith in Denver's defense. I do believe Russell Wilson will be good enough in this game to get the win in Chicago. I think this is going to be a tough one for Chicago for the simple reason, if they don't get out the gates early in this game, the fans will start booing. And I understand it. Well, I don't understand it, but I hear all the fire the coach. So you want to fire another coach within a 4-year span? I don't think that's the answer, to be honest with you. But I would fire the coach only because I would have never hired a defensive-minded head coach for my young quarterback. He wasn't developing with Matt Nagy. You decided to go get a defensive-minded dude, so he definitely ain't developing with him. And you can't always put it on the coach because you do hire offensive coordinators for that reason and quarterback coaches. Something ain't registering. Point blank, period. It is no development being shown in Justin Fields. And you can blame that on whoever you want to blame it on. But at the end of the day, he is on the clock because a contract coming up and they could be bad enough. If they start 0-4, 0-5, this team is definitely going after Caleb Williams. There's no two ways around it. Tampa Bay is in New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints. Me and Henry have both taken the Saints in this game. I was actually going back and forth on this game because I don't know if Derek Carr is playing. The reason I'm going back and forth is because the New Orleans defense is good enough. But then this is the same New Orleans defense that blew that game last week against Jordan Love and the Packers. That's why it's tough for me to actually take New Orleans in this game. But I do believe Alvin Kamara comes back. But I can't expect him to be. I kind of want to change my pick to Tampa Bay. I'm not going to lie. I'm thinking. I like Tampa's defense. I like Tampa's offense. I like Tampa's run game. I like their receivers. Obviously, I'm never going to like Baker midfield, but he done been decent this year, even though last week he was trash. You know what? I'm going to probably regret this. But I'm taking Tampa Bay in this game. Now, I might fix it before I upload it. But, yeah, I'm going to take Tampa Bay in this game. I don't know why. It's just I'm leaning heavy towards Tampa Bay. I actually think Tampa Bay the better team. I don't know why. I just have a... Who did Tampa Bay play last week that they got their ass clapped like that? Hold up. Tampa Bay got them cheeks clapped by Philly, but it was only by it was 25-11. Yeah, I'm taking Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. I can make an argument Tampa Bay done kind of look like. I know I can't. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I thought I could, but I think Tampa Bay done look better than New Orleans in my mind right now. Maybe I'm tripping, but I'm taking Tampa Bay. Oh, I'm glad I just thought about that. Jacksonville. Oh, bro, cut these 1 o'clock games. I'm gonna get back to them. Before I'm so happy I thought about that. We got to talk about this quickly. We got to go over the London game that is also the Toy Story game. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. I don't know. Randy Newman killed that. Let me tell you about these strange things are happening to me. If you don't know what Toy Story is, bro, I feel bad for you, bro. Toy Story is a legendary animation by Pixar and I think Disney. Not sure on that. But I'm probably going to watch this. I'm not going to lie. If I'm up, I doubt that I'll be up at that time. But if I am up at that time, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch the Toy Story version of it just to talk about it. Because I'm very interested to see how that Toy Story game is going to look. Very intrigued by that. So, in that game, I believe... It's another one of them tough games, bruh. And I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember who Henry took in that game because I hadn't wrote that down yet. So, you just going to know when you watch the video who he took in that game. Who am I taking in this game? Boy, what a tough game to pick. What a tough game to pick, bro. What a tough game to pick. I'm going to take the Falcons. Man, but the Jacksonville Jaguars need this win, bro. But that offense just doesn't. Oh, this is a tough pick. This is a very tough game to pick. Give us some reasons why it's tough, Saint. I am in a second. I'm just thinking to myself like, yo, this is probably one of the tougher. I'm not picking this game, bro. I'm okay. I'm not going to pussy out. Who do I got winning this game? The Falcons can run the ball. If the Jags offense get going, it's because they're running the ball effectively. Both offense rely on an effective. The Falcons defense don't look good. The Jacksonville's defense don't look straight. Like, boy, I wouldn't be shocked if this ended in a draw. I'm going to take Jacksonville for the simple reason when it come down to something like this, I'm going to rely on the quarterback play. And I think Desmond Ridder is still having a rough time right now to start the season. He done had some good plays throughout the season, but overall it's been a rough one for him. And overall it's been rough for Trevor Lawrence also, but maybe this is the week that he finally gets it going. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I actually think that Hen picked Jacksonville also, but I'm not for sure. So don't hold me to that. Now, back to the one. Now, mind you, that game is taking place at like 9:40 in the morning, East Coast time. So, yeah, if you up for that, you know how them London games are. But I don't care that this is a London game. I care more that this is a Toy Story game. Cincinnati, Tennessee, back to the 1 o'clock games. Now, Henry is taking Tennessee. I am not. I like Tennessee's defense just like Henry liked Tennessee's defense. Obviously, I talk about their defense all the time. But Joe Burrow and the Bengals, I understand how rough they've looked to start the season, or how rough Joe Burrow and the offense done looked. But I cannot imagine that it's this rough for them this early where they go into Tennessee and lose to a Titans team that's figuring it out on offense every single week. Like, we saw what they went in and did to the Chargers and then followed it up the week after and got blasted by a team who I thought they matched up pretty good against. Matter of fact, who did they play against last week? Because I picked them to win last week, bro. Cleveland, who had just looked bad on Monday Night Football. So I just don't have no faith in Tennessee. So Hen can take that stretch by himself. I'm taking Cincinnati to get back on track. Well, they just won their last game, but they did look rough in that game also. But I'm taking Tennessee, bro. Cincinnati. Tennessee's offense just does not look good to me right now. And you cannot keep relying on the defense. For one, the Tennessee defense don't even create like a shit ton of turnover. It's not like a heavy turnover type team, unless I'm not looking at the right stats or something. And I done praised a lot of different players on the Tennessee defense. But Tennessee's defense is not one of those defenses that can carry this team as far as they need, especially with Ryan Tannehill having weeks where he throwing 4 or 5 interceptions, 2, 3 interceptions. Like, I just think their offense in Tennessee is just, you cannot pin down. And yeah, their running game is decent, but you cannot, which is more confusing as to why DeAndre signed here. On a week-to-week basis, you don't know what you're getting from the offense. You just don't. And then eventually it'll become a time where not only do you not know what you're getting from this offense, you don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback. So I cannot take that gamble. The Rams take on Indianapolis. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Me and Henry both picked the Rams. And I don't know if Richardson is going to be playing. I don't really have faith in the offensive line for the Colts. But I also don't have much faith in the offensive line for the Rams. And not really the Rams as much as, Matthew Stafford is a very confusing player to watch at times. But the Rams defense, the secondary is still up in the air for me. I think our secondary is just, some days it's good, some days it's iffy. The defense is not consistent enough, in my opinion, for the Rams right now, the way we've been in the past. Every time I watch Aaron Donald go out there and be great, I have to remember it's literally no other great players that are pass rushing on this team with him. And Indy, I like Indy's defense, and they are at home. I'm going to just be biased on this one. I have to take the Rams because that's my team, just like I can't bet against Baltimore. I'm going to just let y'all know. Okay, so for the Rams, actually, I have picked against the Rams. One time it was on accident, but I picked against them when we played San Fran. But that was so blatant of a game, I knew we was losing. This one right here is an up-in-the-air game. And when it's an up-in-the-air game, I'm going to be biased and pick my team. Minnesota is in Carolina. It ain't going to take too much on this. Me and him both take Minnesota. I don't even know if Bryce Young is playing this week. Regardless if he is or isn't, I don't think the weapons are good enough. I don't think the protection is good enough. I don't think the defense for Carolina has just been god-awful, in my opinion. Minnesota should win this game. The battle of two winless teams. Baltimore is in Cleveland. Henry is taking Cleveland. I am taking Baltimore. I cannot trust that Deshaun Watson will have back-to-back great games until he put together a stretch of back-to-back good games. It'll be interesting in this game if Baltimore's defense allows Cleveland to get a run game going. Because I believe if Baltimore can stop Cleveland from getting a run game going, then they will win this game. This will be a close game regardless because Cleveland's defense is phenomenal. Now, Cleveland at some point in time in this game will give up a big play. Probably going to happen 2 or 3 times. If those are scores, they are losing this game. If they can get through an entire game without giving up a big play, they will probably win this game because their defense is good enough. And I need to see the Ravens offense get to that point where they scoring on every defense. It don't matter if they having a good day, off day, even at their worst day, they're giving you 20 to 30 plus points. The interesting thing to me for Baltimore is, will they be able to create a pass rush in this game to get Deshaun Watson off a kilter? Will they be able to create a pass rush late in the game if they have the lead to rush Deshaun Watson and not allow him to stand back there and try to create the long plays down the field? Will they be able to stop the run game? If they are able to do that, and listen, as a Baltimore fan, I keep telling y'all, Odafe Oweh was a bad draft pick, bro. I don't care how many times y'all keep trying to tell me as Baltimore fan, it's not a bad draft pick. He got to wait to develop. Him and Bateman ain't developing, bro. They either always hurt or just not giving you what you need on the field. Odafe Oweh had a decent rookie season, has not shown you anything since, but y'all keep having pundits praise this draft pick and people overhyping him. I do not understand it. I'm more critical of Patrick Queen, and Patrick Queen has actually been a more productive player for Baltimore than Odafe has. So if Baltimore can't figure out a pass rush, because I think it's very interesting that every time the media talk about Baltimore, the only thing they talk about is Lamar Jackson. But Baltimore does not have a pass rush. And when when Kyle Hamilton is the dude leading your team in sacks on any given Sunday, that is a problem. He is a safety. I'm starting to realize he a box safety, but he is a safety. And so the Ravens have a problem that they've had since Terrell Suggs left. They don't have a legit pass rusher, something that every other team in the division has. Matter of fact, most teams in the division have 2 legitimate pass rushers. Baltimore cannot say they have 1. That is going to be a problem at every level, every game, no matter where you, if you at home or away, that is a problem. The fact that Baltimore continued to have a problem with the receiving and pass rushing position is, to me, just insane that they go into year after year and have a problem with this. Devontae Adams want to be traded. That's a dude who Baltimore should have been waiting around to trade, but instead they gave Odell big money. And I said in the offseason, when people were saying they just did all this for Lamar, what did they do? They just signed a dude whose last 3 seasons he didn't play 2 of them because he was hurt. And now he hurt again after, 3 weeks? And people shocked. It's crazy to me. So I am taking Baltimore with the understanding that they can lose this game, but they are the better team in my opinion. But Cleveland's defense is a great defense. Miami is in Buffalo. Now, Henry is taking Miami, but I am not. See, I could take Miami for all the reasons Henry picked. He think Josh going to have a good game, but he'll turn the ball over late trying to play hero ball and whatnot. I actually think Miami is flying high right now, and it's actually time for them to be knocked off of their easel. I'm not going to think of Miami no different, but Tua is 1-5 against Josh Allen and the Bills, I believe, or 1-4. And this is in Buffalo. I love Miami just as much as the next fan, but Miami is losing this game, I believe. I don't know why people... For one, Miami's defense, to me, they got injuries for one. 2, this ain't the defense that Josh Allen saw last year. So it's going to be opportunities there for Josh Allen to get loose and Stephon Diggs. 2, Buffalo's defense is better than Miami's defense. what Miami's offense been able to do against a lot of the teams they play, and they may be able to have big plays against Buffalo. I'm sure they will. They ain't putting up 70 points against Buffalo. This is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a game that I think is very closely contested. But I do believe at the end of the day, Buffalo will walk away with a hard-fought win at home. Me and Henry picked opposite on a lot of games this week. And the last 1 o'clock game is Pittsburgh taking on Houston. Henry took Houston. I am not taking Houston. Now, I wanted to take Houston because I like Houston's offense more than I like the Steelers' offense, and neither offense really looked that great. But I don't think C.J. Stroud done looked bad so far, as much as they still figuring things out. The reason I'm taking Pittsburgh, though, is because I do believe this is one of them games where Pittsburgh defense will be good. Now, the thing that worried me is, you know how much I like the Texans defense, because I actually took the Texans at first when I was doing this, but then I changed my mind the more and more I thought. The thing with the Texans defense is they stop you from doing a lot of things, but the Steelers defense seem to get the ball back. They get the turnovers, the big plays. The Steelers will be able to score at least a touchdown and a field goal in this game off of their offense. They'll always be able to hit that one big play at some point in time in the game with Pickett to Pickens. And I do think this is just that typical game that Pittsburgh find a way to squeak out. The 4 o'clock in the afternoon games. You got Vegas heading into L.A. to take on the Chargers. Me and Henry both took the Chargers in this game. But I don't really want to talk about this game as much as I want to talk about Vegas real quick. I said in the offseason they should be trying to trade Davante Adams and Max Crosby. Because when you look at this Raiders team and Josh Jacobs, because when you look at this team and you say to yourself, who is the top talent or like how far are we from being a team that can consistently contend for a ring? And you look at the team and you say, okay, now let's look at it. You only got 3 players on this team that could legitimately help you win a ring. And there might be other good players that we don't know about yet that's young and still got to grow. But for the most part, the Raiders don't have a shit ton of talent that you know for a fact can get you there. It's far more unknowns than knowns, which is why it makes no sense to me that you would not try to get in a haul for Max Crosby. Max Crosby is the best thing on that roster that they could get a haul for right now. Because Davante Adams, I think, is 30. And he getting up there in age. Max Crosby is young. In his prime. Might not even be in his prime yet. I've watched Max Crosby very closely. That is the type of player that Baltimore should be trying to go out and get. That is a legitimate pass rusher who would be a difference maker for the Baltimore Ravens for the next decade plus. That's how great Max Crosby is. He got an unbelievable motor, unbelievable pass rush moves. He one of those pass rushers that's only going to be a better pass rusher as he's learning from other pass rushers how to be a better pass rusher. He's not a pass rusher learning how to be a good pass rusher. He already a great one. That's what Baltimore need. They keep going out and getting projects. Dudes that's good sometimes, all right sometimes. Max Crosby is a legitimate, bona fide, great pass rusher playing for a atrocious team that does not have another piece anywhere to be found on that team to help him scave off double and triples. To let Max Crosby ruin a game for you right now as an opposing team would make no sense because the only person on that defense you go in on a weekly basis worrying about is Max Crosby. You could get so much for him right now because he is a pass rusher, a premium pass rusher, and he played a premium position. The defensive end. He could play either side. He is a guy who the Raiders should be trying to trade away in order to try to stockpile draft picks to get higher in the draft. Caleb Williams is who you should be trading. You better pray that Chicago find a way to win 2 games so you could lose out because you should have never gave Jimmy Garoppolo that contract. You should be trying to trade Davante Adams. You should be trying to trade. I would have traded Max Crosby in the offseason, bro. I'm not letting his value at any point in time dip. And knowing the roster that I put on the field as a Raider, his production is going to dip, meaning his value will dip for morons who just look at the basic numbers and just don't really understand. He ain't got much to work with out there. And so because of that, I really believe that they should go ahead and start trying to sell off all the top pieces on this team to teams that need it. Josh Jacobs is needed in Baltimore. I keep using Baltimore because that's my team. But he needed it with the Rams. It's a lot of teams out there that's Super Bowl hopefuls that could use those 3 players on the Raiders that they could sell high for. I don't understand what's going on in Vegas, but I'm picking the Chargers to win. But like I said, this is bigger than the game. I just think this organization has been run so poor. I don't know how in the offseason you didn't take a look at this team and say to yourself, this is just not good enough, especially considering the division we play in. But, hey, I guess as long as the checks is cashing. New England is in Dallas to take on the Dallas Cowboys, and I wanted to take New England. Boy, did I want to take New England, but then I realized this is in Dallas, so I am going to take Dallas. And I do think this will be a close game, but just the problem with New England is their inability to create big plays. And when you cannot create big plays against this Dallas defense, or when you forcing big plays, Dallas is going to usually come up with the ball. When you running so many dink, now I know some people might think the dink and dunk screens and shit might work because, Dallas like the pass rush. Dallas is not just pass rushing, bro. That's a legit good defense. Now they struggle stopping the run here or there. But and Zeke back in town, so I know he's going to want to have a big game. But I do not think that New England is going to. I think it'll be close, especially if Dallas's offense struggles. But Dallas is a better team than New England. And I understand sometimes we look at these games on a week-to-week basis, and that influences our opinion. But at certain points in time, you just got to say to yourself, okay, but this team is just better than this team. And I understand how Dallas played last week against Arizona. But if they're not making this a consistent weekly thing, I can't worry about that too much. Every team going to have a bad week. The Ravens shouldn't have lost to Indy last week, and they did. And I know people want to blame it on Lamar, but that's definitely a loss that should be on John Harbaugh's head 1,000 out of 1,000 times. I don't know how he done skate free with that. But then again, the media don't cover nobody on Baltimore but Lamar. It's like it's a team of 52 different Lamar Jacksons. But I don't think New England is a good offense. And I'm not putting that on Mac Jones. I could make a video for it later. I could go into it more in depth on a different video later in a different show. But I just don't think that this offense is anywhere near as good as it needs to be in order to compete with a team like Dallas, whose offense has struggled in the red zone in different parts this year. But yeah, I cannot dig it, to say the least. Hey, I wonder how much they be paying some of these actors and actresses to be butt-ass naked in some of these shows they be on. Like, I'm watching The Continental, and I'm watching this one woman. In the beginning of the first season, or on the first episode, because it's like a 3-parter, you got these the detectives having sex. How much do they pay these actresses and actors to be butt? Like, the dude ain't got to show no meat, but the woman showing tits. And I know it's from different angles that don't show the tits at the same time as they show her face. So it could be a clever little bait and switch with Hollywood magic, for all I know. But I'm looking real close to see if they show these tits when her face is on the screen at the same time. And they is. That's definitely her. And her tits is showing. Oh, yeah. Full face and tits. Oh, yeah. So I wonder how much they pay her to show these tits on screen like this. And having softcore sex to start the show. Very interesting. I guess you could do stuff like that on streaming services. And I'm not saying I got no problem with it. I was just wondering how much would they be getting paid to do something like that to start a show. Especially because it's not a porno. And this is not on HBO. But I got Dallas. Arizona is in San Francisco. There's not too much need to be said. We're taking San Francisco, me and Henry, both. Sunday night football. Kansas City Swifts are in New York to take on the New York Jets. Me and Henry both are taking the Kansas City Swifts. I don't understand. And I'm pretty sure this will be a closer game. But I just don't have, like I said about these last couple teams, no faith in the Jets defense. Absolutely no faith whatsoever in the Jets defense. I would have liked to expound it on more of these games, but I had to make a quicker episode. But before we end it, Kansas City. I'm not understanding why they announced Taylor Swift was gonna be at this game, bro. This is what I'm saying, bro. The clout chasing, bro. They're gonna be like, oh, Taylor Swift don't need the clout chase. Yeah, whatever, bro. And I just want to also say, in this show, The Continental, where this woman pick up the thing of doo-doo and put it on a dude's window, man, oh man, boy, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. But listen, I don't understand the clout chasing, the unbelievable clout chasing by Taylor Swift. But I mean, bro, they asked Pat Mahomes, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, an 2-time MVP, Super Bowl MVP, did Taylor Swift being there influence him to play better, bro? Monday Night Football. You got Seattle. You got the Giants. Henry is taking his Giants, of course. And I am, of course, taking Seattle. He also think this could be one of them games where the Giants upset Seattle. And while Seattle haven't really overly impressed me, bro, you got your motherfucking mind. You think I'm finna take that sorry-ass Giants offense to go into San Francisco? I mean, to go and do anything against an offense that actually know what is going out there to do on a weekly basis, bro. Stop it. Not gonna happen. But with that being said, appreciate y'all so much for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. I appreciate the support, the likes, the shares, the comments, all of it. All of it. And bro, feel free to comment whatever the fuck y'all want to in them comment sections, bro. As long as you're not being disrespectful to one another, as long as you're not being disrespectful, mean-hearted, mean-spirited for no reason, bro, comment what you want down there, man. You don't got to agree with everything I say. I could be saying some shit that you completely do not agree with. Speak on it. Speak on it. This is probably not the video to do it, though, since I didn't really do too much in-depth talking on this video like I do on most of them. But, I might have said some shit in here that you didn't agree with. You know what I'm saying? So feel free to do you, big dog. Do you. But with that being said, I appreciate you once again. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.